All right, Vixen, I'm in a mood. I'm in the mood to feud.
Uh-oh.
It's time for a little game called In the Mood to Feud. All right, so we're going to look at some of your greatest hits as far as feuds go and give you a chance to comment on them and give your side of the story or put whatever to bed, however you like.
All right.
All right, let us begin. This is the first one, and it's already hot. It's fire. Manila Luzon. Girl, that was the drama. Oh, and there she is in her tampon dress, killing it.
Looking spot on.
Yeah. So, tell me how this whole situation started.
So, I don't know Manila very well. And kind of out of the blue, she started like commenting on my tweets in a way that seemed like she was poking at me. And I remember the first time me saying, I don't know how to take what you just said, but okay.
Right.
And what the problem is, and most Ru girls respect this code, and I think everybody should, do not, like if you know me, text me. And if you don't know me, don't start shit with me on Twitter. Because now your fans and my fans are gonna be going at it. It's messy. It really is. It doesn't even matter. And so there was a couple of those little ones that I was like, okay. And some queens tapped my shoulder and said, this is what she does.
Oh.
You know, she throws the rock and hides her hand.
Oh.
And I was like, all right. And as I was just telling you, I woke up, saw something. She was on my page again. I hadn't even sat up straight yet. And I tried to like take a deep breath and respond to what she said. And the devil kicked in. And I lashed out. And I instantly knew, I was like, too far, take it back. I said something that I would never say. And what really, really struck me was that, because obviously I never got to meet Sahara, but I knew how important she was to so many people. What I would say more than anything is, I'm sorry to my fans because we've seen me go through this before. I know that I can be tested and I can be pushed to a breaking point, and I'm supposed to be smarter than that, and I need to be smarter than that because people do rely on me to say the right thing and to do the right thing. And so I'm sorry first to my fans for letting them down and being nastier than usual. And and I am sorry to Manila because to this day, I don't know what her intentions were. So that was me projecting what I felt like she was giving to me. So I am sorry to Manila for what I said. And then, really, I'm sorry to myself for, after going through everything I've gone through, still falling for the okie doke. Because it's like, I know better. I know when somebody's trying to test me. And I know that, like, sometimes walking away is the best thing to do.
Ding. Ding. Okay. Well said. Well said. All right. In the mood to feud with Jeffree Star. There she is. And Lady Red is making sounds over there. What's going on, Lady Red?
I ain't got nothing.
Okay. So you called out. Well, I'm gonna let you say it. Tell me what happened with you and Jeffree Star.
Nothing. I'll say this. I have been doing drag for 6 years. I got on Drag Race. I got through Drag Race without ever wearing Jeffree Star. So there is no reason that anybody needs to support someone who doesn't support them.
You can say that.
Because you can wear any makeup, and if you know what you're doing, you can make it look good. So you do not need to support people who do not support everyone. And what I do mostly is point out double standards.
Right.
And I think that ticks off a lot of people. And like even with the stuff with Manila, people are waiting for an opportunity to poke a hole in my points. And Jeffree Star isn't the only problematic pigment, hashtag.
Thank you for the hashtag.
Hashtag problematic pigment. But, I just think that it's disappointing that we support people at our own convenience. nobody has a problem with canceling Kevin Hart. Absolutely nobody has a problem with canceling R. Kelly, as he should be. But when it comes to somebody who is giving us something we need right now, like Kim Petras is produced by Dr. Luke, who is accused of raping Kesha.
Right.
But we still pushed Kim Petras' album, and we still supported that. And it's like, sometimes you can't separate the art from the artist, and sometimes you need to vote with your dollar. And somehow we have such a hard time doing that unless the person is black. And so Jeffree Star is one of many people who needs to be held accountable. And, you know, like just how we demanded a full, strong apology from Kevin Hart, I think we should get a very clear apology from Jeffree Star.
Well said. All right. Don't try for the Vixen. She's going to let you know what's up, sweetie. All right, one more. This is when you really just, I'm just going to sip before I, This one is, it's tangy. We're talking about you being in the mood to feud with Lady Gaga, honey. This was a statement. This was a statement, and I said to myself, "You better get it."
And myself said,
Yeah. You said the Star is Born practices white nationalism, and it felt like it was a Trump campaign
That's
musical.
not a direct quote. That's not a direct.
I want you to tell me what you thought. But I'd just like to say that was bold as hell.
It wasn't that. What I called it was MAGA the musical.
MAGA the musical, okay.
But here's what, picture it, Sicily 1927. First of all, I went to see the movie. I enjoyed Lady Gaga's acting. I'm a theater geek, so I've seen all the versions of A Star is Born. Even the ones that are really, really hard to, the Doris Day, really hard to find. So I know what the movie has been, can be. Yeah. I thought Shangela was great. I thought Lady Gaga was great. I said that I didn't like the movie. And Gaga fans came at me from all sides. How dare you, whatever. Again, I thought she did great. I thought her acting was very convincing. Great. And then I got irritated with the fans. And I was like, oh, I can piss you off. I can do that all day.
Right.
And what people don't understand is because this is what I do, I get canceled every day and I get renewed every night. I am not scared of, I am not afraid of people writing me off. That's my experience. So I don't mind saying something that's going to piss off a bunch of 12-year-old Gaga fans. Because you should be. You should be, because you're so complacent in your privilege that you think that we have to worship the ground that she was. She did good. The movie could have been better.
One thing to learn from all these feuds, sweetie, is don't mess with the Vixen, sweetie.
I wish they would learn.
All right, let's freshen up our teas because, sweetie, it's time to spill. We're going to talk all about your time on Drag Race. Okay? It's feeling testy. It's testy tea. It's the opposite of tension tamer. It's fight flamer tea.
It's fireball.
So your entrance line was, I came here to fight. But you never started a fight in the show, actually.
Yes, no matter how shady they tried to make people being like, well, did she? No, I never started a fight on the show. And that's just facts. So if you want to run through them, me and Aquaria, the too vague, me telling Aquaria that she was basically lying. She was. And no matter what her reasoning for it was later that we found out, when I'm sitting there and I see you saying the exact opposite of what you've been saying all day to the person's face, because my thing is, one, I'm a Sagittarius, and truth is the almighty dollar. So if you tell me something and I accept it as the truth, and then 5 minutes later, you're telling somebody else something else, hold up.
Right.
Because I need to know what the truth is, because that's how I'm going to base my actions. And so you're telling me that Cracker is this and she's that. Okay, now I don't like Cracker. Now you're telling Cracker it's not a big deal. Excuse me.
Pardon me, miss.
Pardon me. So that's what that was. And it was said on the reunion that I was instigating a fight between Cracker and Aquaria. They never fought. Me and Aquaria fought. me and Cracker fought, but that didn't make the edit.
Now, what made you think of that line because we all know what your entrance line is going to stick with you. Hope you want it on a t-shirt and a mug because it keeps going.
But here's the thing. Violet Chachki walked through and said, ooh la 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 la.
Right, that's true.
And I don't see that hanging over her head.
That's true.
So, yeah, I think there's very few queens where their entrance line haunts them for the rest of their life. But I'm one of them.
What was your initial thought on that?
Well, because, I'm notorious for being head-on about issues.
Okay.
And so, like, my friends, Miss Lucy Stuhl, who's in the audience, was like, bitch, you have to say it. You have to say it. And it's a quote from the Bad Girls Club. She says, I'm just here to fight, I'm gonna be honest.
Right.
And my every intention was to walk in, take off my glasses, and be like, I'm just here to fight. But I was nervous as shit. I missed my mark the first time, so by the fourth take, I was screaming, and the girls were already deciding that they didn't like me, and so, oh well.
Oh, well. Let's talk about that exchange with Aquaria in which, because I think this was one of the most important moments for that season. Because once again, you kind of put a magnifying glass to behaviors that weren't really being spoken about.
Yeah.
But the ripples of that were going through the audience and relating back to the Queen. Because you said that, they were creating the narrative of an angry black woman who scared the little white girl, which was you with Aquaria. So just tell me about that experience, what had happened, and why you thought that was an important moment.
It was very tense because, like, me and Aquaria were having, like, our back and forth, and it felt like everybody was telling me to leave it alone because they were like, girl, she's got a lot of fans. You don't want to mess, because, Aquaria came in with a lot of followers. And so it kind of felt like to me that she was throwing her weight around because she knew that girls were afraid to go up against her fan base.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh, we're not doing that. And like, as I said, me and Aquaria are very, very cool now.
Sure.
She's grown a lot, I've grown some.
Yeah, we're not trying to rehash the fight, but that was an important moment that I really want to get in your head about.
Yeah, so that was that. And I was like, and what you didn't see is Dusty asked, how come you can say something snarky, but it's not okay for Vixen? And what I did was I said, because of this.
Ooh.
And that's what made her start crying. And you can hear Monique say, it's not about race, it's not about race, it's not about race. And I'm like, no, it is about race. Because we all know that I'm going to get my ass handed to me by these fans because everybody's harder on the black queens, especially when there's a black versus white argument.
Yes, that's true. So now, is it true that you got death threats from that?
Yes.
That makes me like... The fan base sometimes from Drag Race makes me like, what is wrong with y'all?
And the problem is that it's kids and nobody's watching them, and you can't look over your kid's phone and like see what they're typing every moment. And I don't understand. Like, clearly something at home is happening, but I feel like early on I was like, well, I'm not gonna take that seriously. And then when it started being specific, like when I see you at DragCon, and I was like, okay, so we had to get the FBI involved.
Really?
I had extra security at my booth. I was like very closed off in my booth just to make sure that you had to go through like checkpoints before you. So somebody else was gonna get got before you got to me. But like I never took it like personally. I always knew that there was like, okay, you're dealing with something and you're lashing out. Whoever you are, however old you are, because sometimes there are very grown people with very small minds. And so it didn't get to me. I just knew that I had to take it seriously for safety.
Scary.
Yeah.
There was more backlash after you quarreled with Eureka in a couple episodes.
Now, which one is that again?
What was that whole thing about?
Between me and Eureka?
Yeah.
Honey, I don't know. I think, as we've seen online multiple times, she really wants to be in Black Girl Magic. I don't know. She said that. Yeah, see? She said that. A direct quote.
She to be a black girl.
That's a fact.
That.
And I think, the original fight where she was interrupting me and Monique were having a really good kiki, and she wants to join in. And sometimes when two sisters is talking, you just gotta sit back and let us do it. And she wanted to be a sister in the moment, and we were like, do you mind? And I think she just felt excluded, and she lashed out. She picked the wrong bitch. and it's just been downhill from there. I haven't seen or heard from her in a couple months, and that was great. And then someone retweeted something of hers, and it made it onto my timeline, and I realized that she had unblocked me. So I blocked her. Because we don't need that negativity in 2019. So I am good with being as far away from her as possible.
Hello, children. To see part 3 of this interview, click here. To see more Hey Qween fabulousness, click here. And don't forget to subscribe, bitch! Hey! Hey! Hey!